Yeah.
So, Liptots has done another amazing breakdown of the stats for KOTE. Unfortunately,
Just to reiterate to the beginning for those who have joined late, there's no quiz this week. Don't get your hopes up for a quiz.
apologies. There's only so many hours in the day, and I'm impressed that Tots has kept this up going as long as he has. So, this has been brilliant.
The first thing that immediately calls out to me with this SAS increase is that 14% increase in efficiency. Yes, it's
Yes.
0.8 on there, but it's still a huge leap.
Oh God, yes. I mean, it's the biggest change on there for any of them, I'd say, apart from effective power going down 3.6%. I mean, but you already said the efficiency will increase the higher the SAS level. With that 1 week exception, that's pretty much what we've seen. And this
Expected amber and efficiency, I always expected to go up as we got higher. There was only 1 week where that was wrong, but that's because, as other people in the community will tell you, SAS is only looking at one run through of your deck. So your SAS number will go high, it should be higher if it expects you to go through your deck multiple times, because you should be achieving the expected amber, the artifact control on a multitude of times because you're going through your deck so quickly.
exactly. I mean, also if you look at things like disruption is going up again, not too surprising. Synergy's gone down, anti-synergy's gone down again. But I say it's that efficiency increase that is the big thing about this week.
Effective power is what's getting me, but I think that all has more to do with what we're going to be looking at a little bit later on, which is the rise of mass mutation. Because although there are some big creatures in mass mutation in the gigantic creatures, the rest of the creatures not that big. I mean, when you look at when you've got Brob now, which averages out of 5 to 6 power as a house, and you look at Shadows in mass mutation, which probably averages at about 3 or 4, it is a huge difference.
Definitely. But the other interesting thing here is 58 players didn't change their decks between 6 and 7.
Well, I can understand that with between 72 and 70, because there are a lot of good 70, a lot of good 70s, and a 2 SAS difference isn't going to be a much difference. I'd be more interested to see what people kept their decks from like round 5 all the way to round 7, or from like how long the first decks that were registered, how long people held on to the same deck before they decided to change.
Yeah, that's going to be very interesting to see. So, this is the thing Brett was alluding to. Mass mutation has nearly a 20% jump up to 100 decks that are in the event. Now, bear in mind, there's 270 decks total. 100 of them are mass mutation now. Call of the Archons 2 weeks ago, up until 2 weeks ago, was the top deck, top set.
What's the top? Yeah, the top set.
And now it's mass. Yeah, I mean, yes, Worlds Collide's gone down again, and Worlds Collide surprises me every single bloody week.
Worlds Collide has dropped dramatically. It seemed to, in the mid-60s, go back up, but then as we get higher, I think if we'd have gone above 74, if we'd have gone to 78, 80s, we might have seen Worlds Collide come back again. We might have seen KOTE come back again. But I think on the way back down, it's mainly going to be Mass Mutation, Call of the Archons, and Age of Ascension coming back up, because we're going down in 4s now.
So the houses, again, I don't think there's a lot of surprises here. Logos has gone higher, which we would expect. Dis has gone higher, which I would have expected. Untamed has dropped out, which is sad, but that's, again, not too surprising. Brobner, well, I'm still surprised that was so high anyway.
What I'm interested in is the fact that that AOA went down, but Mars has gone up, which means that more people brought KOTE Mars to in round 7.
I mean, it's only gone up by like 1 or 2 decks. I wouldn't say it's gone up much.
But it's still an interesting trend. It's interesting to see Logos just having a massive climb, but seeing Shadows and Untamed go down is quite strange for me.
Yeah, I mean, Shadows is still the most popular house. Logos is still the second, though third has gone up from Dis has gone up to third, just go ahead of Untamed. Apart from that, it's not really changed that much. But it's still interesting to see how the split is.
With the increase with the increase in mass mutations, I'm not at all surprised to see that Sanctum's gone up, because mass mutation, Sanctum got some very good cards in there. And I said at the beginning of mass mutation that the Sanctum is the dark horse house of that set. It got very well overlooked. It's got some nice combo pieces, and it's got one of the only scaling ammo control cards in it. So, yeah, it's good to see Sanctum getting a bit of love there. As much as I hate Sanctum being a diss boy, but it's good to see Sanctum coming up there.
Definitely. So if you look at the uncommon and the rare cards, Lights Out still back at the top, 43, but bouncing Death Quartz gone up to 30th.
Yeah.
I absolutely hate that card. Nature's Cool, 30th, Mimicry, 26. That's not too surprising. But we are seeing Shadows has only got 3 cards in it now. It was 5 cards last week in the top 10.
Yeah, it's dropped. Although that might also be to do with the fact that it's dropped in the actual house representation.
Oh, completely.
But we've got 2 and 10 2 discards in there, and Sludge and Free Fates, very good ones having there in the uncommons. Good to see Mimicry back up there, and
but
the Bouncing Deathquark and Researcher Smoko. It seems like a lot of those decks were being brought together.
But also, Graft is no longer there for the first time.
Very true. But going looking at the rares, for the first time, Deus Ilias is there.
No, he's been there a few times.
Has he? I've only really seen Niflkong and Ultra Graviton there. This is the first time I've actually taken note.
He has before, but most importantly, no Plague Rats or more wolves.
Yep, more wolves and Plague Rats are completely wiped out, as well as one other rare has been completely wiped out, but we'll get to that soon.
Yeah. So the oops, sorry, I'm jumping ahead too far.
Go on. That's
All right.
we can go take it.
So combos in round 7. So we have 0 Heart of the Forests. 0 Heart of the Forests.
Not a single person is playing Heart of the Forest last round.
There was 1 Jenkar, which I think I lost to. No, in fact, I did lose to.
Did you lose, or were you smashed into the ground?
I like to think smashed into the ground for the first time. 6 Briggs. So though interventional graft has gone down overall, the number of Brig decks has gone up, which is interesting.
5 Gangonauts.
Still 5 Gangonauts, 3 Tribute combos, down to 2 Dark Amber Vaults, down to 6 Bone Niffings and Safe Houses up 1, to a couple of Lashes with too much to protect.
Only
1
shot deck.
from 3, yeah, and 2 decks with Cincinnati's Rex and Golden Spiral.
The 6 Bone Niffing Safe House deck, it is a very powerful combo. It's not an unbeatable combo. There are ways to play around it, and I played against the deck earlier on today that was running that combo, and I was just able to outpace it. But it's still a very strong combo, and it's good to see a nice range of each set having a combo in here in kind of the same numbers.
Yep, completely. So, the win rates, the bit we all care about. Mass Mutation is still up there on top.
But for the first time, it's the only one with a positive win rate.
I mean, normally AOA is a 50% win rate, give or take a couple of %, but now it's down to 43.3. Worlds Collide is 41.7. Call the Archon's 48.1, that's near enough 50%. But that's really interesting to see. And also, if we look at the win rate of the other houses, Brogba was the highest last week by a long shot. Now it's the 3rd lowest.
But look at this with the lowest win rate. That is really surprising.
And Saurian with the highest. I mean, it's okay. It's only 55%, but
it's a 14% difference between the highest and lowest, which is really interesting to see. Especially seeing as Shadows has got a positive win rate, but makes it the majority of the houses.
Yeah, I mean, this is it's very interesting to see. There is very little consistency, and I think what I'm going to try and do is put all the stats side by side at some point for the win rates of the houses, at least, to understand how it changed week to week, because I don't think we're seeing any real patterns here.
It'd be definitely interesting, and what I'd like to do is say next week when we have the 70 SAS top cut, when we go into the top 16, compare the win rates, the houses, everything like that against for the top 32 at 70 SAS against the larger pool of the round 6 70 SAS.
Definitely. That's going to be very interesting to see. So thanks to Liptops for putting this together, thanks to Nathan for Dexter Keyforge, and thank you for you all for playing Keyforge. So that is... 1 second, I've lost the right tab. Oops. Switch.
That's us.
Come on. There, yeah. You're a few things behind me. The list is Discord. Cool. So, so we're on to the featured game now. This week's featured game was our Brazilian favourites, Team Cozina versus... Who were they playing?
Team Sloppy Landwork.
Team Sloppy Landwork. The
It's the game I got to record Cukes versus Five Eyes Classified, so you insisted that I record this one because it's one that you wanted to see.
Yes, I remember now.
It was a very interesting game, even though they did all leave it to the last minute to get it going.
Yes, from KOTE 9 onwards, if you're going to be a featured game, you must play your game before Saturday, before the end of Saturday.
You can't have that rule. People have lives.
Prove it. But anyway, let's move on to that now.